Way back in 1989, a game came out on Sega's Master System. The game features foxes, diametrically opposed foxes, one evil, one good, both named for psychoses. Mad Fox Daimyojin, who is apparently a god, has used his vague powers of omniscience to corrupt the land, and the people of, I guess, a furry version of Japan, well, they've sent Psycho Fox to destroy the god in lieu of the samurai pizza cats. You know how it is, I'm sure it happens to you every day too, right? Now, how does Psycho Fox hope to defeat a powerful god and his minions? Well, if you're asking, Psycho Fox can jump. Jumping's awkward as hell though, because jumping control doesn't really exist in a traditional sense. The distance you jump is based on your momentum, so if you aren't already running, you'll basically only jump up. Now, I've heard of running jumps, but when all of your jumps need to be running, it just gets unusually frustrating. The jumping feels so odd that I can't really explain it well. It's something you really have to feel for yourself. You'll get used to it, just might take a while to adapt to. Also, there was absolutely no sexual subtext in that last sentence. You want to start attacking? Well, attacking is done by punching. Dalsim style. Your plasticine hero can bop anyone he feels like. This isn't his only option though. Sometimes you'll find eggs that hold objects for you to collect, and in certain cases they'll contain a bird, named Birdfly. Evidently original naming wasn't in the brief. Birdfly can be thrown as a ranged attack and also employed as a temporary shield. He'll absorb a single hit while he's connected to you. After this he pisses off. However, there are problems with using him as a weapon. Number 1. Fox dies in one hit. Number 2. It takes about a second to stop when running. Number 3. It's really more of a lob than a throw. It doesn't go exactly where you'd expect. Sadly, sometimes these factors can combine to cause the following. When you're zipping through a level, you may forget that because you have the bird on hand, you are no longer able to attack directly ahead. After throwing the bird, missing the enemy, your momentum will cause you to continue into the enemy, and because the bird isn't currently on hand having been thrown, you die. Fun, huh? Also, punching while airborne makes him grow an extra arm. Fact. You should go out into your garden and watch for that with real foxes. You can also jump on enemies, but you need to jump on them till they completely disappear. Anyways, Fox is not alone in his quest. Using Shinto sticks that you collect, he's able to transform into 3 other characters. The first is a hippo, who's both a crappy runner and jumper, but he can smash through destructible areas of the game. The tiger runs really fast when you get enough running space, but since there's rarely anywhere that doesn't make you stop to punch something or to do some platforming, there's very little point. Third is the monkey. The monkey's the best at jumping. Usually it's best to keep on the fox for the most part, but really you can just play as whichever you want, as there aren't really many points that force you to be someone else. The hippo's arguably the worst character you use for platforming, and thus the worst character to play, period. The monkey's probably the best. The hippo has no extra reach on his attacks to compensate for his low speed and jumping powers. You really may as well be someone else. And no, I'm not just being mean, he really does suck. There are a couple of items that help you along the way as well. We already mentioned the Shinto sticks are used to transform. Well, you can also make yourself invincible by popping pills, which I'm sure is what anyone who plays this for more than 2 levels of the game must feel like doing anyways. And also using this dye thing here, which resembles Fire Blast from Pokemon, for good reason, sucks all the enemies off the screen. Shouldn't it incinerate them? I mean, the festival it's based on is about burning these things, and I guess it couldn't handle the graphical effects. I suppose that's why it doesn't let you backtrack. Get used to dying too, because it will happen a lot. Before you work out how the jumping works exactly, you'll die. After you work out how the jumping works, you'll die. Eventually you'll accidentally forget how the jumping works because it's so much different than what you expect from a platform game, and you'll die. You'll be begging for the control scheme of something else more than any of the other things, because it's the biggest problem with the game. Strangely, play the monkey and jumping seems too easy. If they had made the fox jump and control like Mario, I'd accept this. Trying to be different just made it feel wrong. Mario jumped better than this in Donkey Kong, for fuck's sake. Or, considering the theme, fuck sake. Anyways, you get infinite continues, just no mid-stage checkpoint. You'll need those infinite continues though, because without knowing an enemy is coming or there's something waiting for you, you're probably going to run right into it. The screen doesn't scroll quite as fast as you'd like, and you don't stop as instantly as you'd hope. Just watch. I had this game on my Master System for maybe a week back in 1992. My dad had borrowed it from a colleague. I thought it was alright, but I could never bring myself to finish it. I was much too busy with better games on the console. This game is just okay. It doesn't do much to make me care to remember much about it. I remember it more for the pull-out game catalogue that was included with all Master System games, and the game's decent cover art than I do for the gameplay. One too many blind jumps in here. Most of you will have experienced a similar sort of game through its spiritual successor on the Sega Mega Drive under the name Decap Attack in the West. This played slightly better than Psycho Fox, but it was almost identical save for the upgraded graphics and the horror theme over the Shinto one. Hell, if you, like me, read Slant the Comic in the UK, then you literally had Decap Attack shoved down your throat as an extra story in a good number of issues. That wasn't an excellent game either, though. However, the original game from which Decap was localised was similar to Psycho Fox in theme. This fox was just waiting to be upstaged by Miles per Hour, who can platform a whole lot better than this guy.